Hey guys, thank you for clicking on my video. Today I wanted to talk about this guy who kidnapped and locked a woman in a cinder block cellar, and she literally punched her way out of it, broke the door down, and was able to escape. And she was over 400 miles away from where she met him. And so I wanted to show you this video, and then I have another one right after this. And
A woman kidnapped from Seattle, driven hundreds of miles away to southern Oregon, where she was kept in a homemade cinder block cell. The information we have coming in from the FBI. Now, the agency saying that woman fought her way out to get help. The suspect is also suspected in several assaults, sexual assaults in at least 4 other states. That suspect, who is known by several names, is in custody facing federal charges, including interstate kidnapping. Rob Reynolds is a captain at the Klamath Falls, Oregon Police Department, and he joins us now live to discuss the arrest of that suspect and what happens next. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time and the ability to share our story.
Yeah, well, first off, just kind of break down for me what you were thinking as you learned all this information. You saw the photos there of the cinder block cell. They're pretty disturbing. What was going through your mind as you're just trying to process all of that?
I mean, can you imagine breaking down a whole door with your knuckles, a woman?
So just kind of take it to when the day of I received it. I was at home. It was on our days off, and I had one of our lieutenants had contacted me to let me know what was going on. And at that time, I was just only given a description of it. I actually didn't see it till the following day when we met with the FBI requesting their assistance. And I got to say, that was completely disturbing once I saw the photos, and it was consistent with what the victim had actually described.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at them is kind of tough there. So, as far as what we expect to happen next with the case, where does this go? Because it sounds like you guys are pretty much looking for any other possible victims here, and you've reached out to the public. We did broadcast that news conference. Essentially, it sounds like any other victims you're hoping will come forward.
Yeah, so the news conference was basically just to solicit information for additional victims. At this time, the investigation is ongoing, so I can't provide too much information, obviously. However, we do have reason to believe that there's possibly more victims out there, and that's why we're requesting them to come forward. Want to let them know that he's in custody, they're safe to come forward, and we've got services to allow them to do that. So.
And let's go back to the incident itself. I do want to pull up those images one more time so you can see that cinder block cell right there on your screen. How was that woman able to escape?
So the picture right there, you have the external door. There was actually 2 doors, and he actually soundproofed the room as well to keep it so that people couldn't hear her. She knew what she was going to do if she stayed in there, that bad things were going to happen to her, and she made the decision that she was getting out of there. And she did take substantial steps to get out. So she punched a metal screen door multiple times till the welds broke. She was able to peel down the metal screen down to a point where there was a small opening. She was able to squeeze through the door. Once she got outside of there, she had to scale a 6-foot fence, and then she ran to the nearest vehicle driving down the road and flagged it down, and then they drove her to safety, and then she called 911.
Who was living in the home here where all of this did transpire? We know the suspect was obviously there, but were there family members as well, or was it just him?
Yes, there was other people living in the home as well. His common-law wife, he had 2 small children as well, and then there was 2 additional roommates also living in the home.
But I guess, as you said, the cinder block cell itself was soundproof, so nobody would have necessarily known this was going on, or is that something that is still being looked into?
It's still being looked into. There's a lot of questions there of if they knew or not, so obviously there's a lot of questions still need to be answered.
Of course. Well, tell me about Klamath Falls, Oregon. Describe the town for me, because I imagine this is something unlike anything that's been experienced in that area ever.
Yeah, so Klamath Falls, we're about 25 miles north of the California border in southwest Oregon. It's a smaller community. The city population itself is about 22,000, but we have an unincorporated part of it. So the population is about 46,000 in the entire, I guess you would say, rural part of it. It's kind of a diverse culture. We have obviously agriculture, so we have a lot of farmers and everything else, but then we also have Mexican-American population. They work a lot of those fields. We do also have a Native American population with the Klamath tribes. And then also we have the Kingsley Field with the Oregon Air National Guard fighter wing. It's also here. So it makes up actually a pretty diverse community.
And talking a little bit more about the victim here, do you believe that her escaping actually saved other potential victims in the future?
Absolutely, including our own. I believe she recognized that, and that was the reason she took those substantial steps to escape. Like I said, the investigation is preliminary. We're seeking out additional victims because we believe that they're out there. And so we're requesting them to come forward and share their story so that we can get them the service they do and give them the justice that they deserve.
And on that same note, what message do you have for folks out there who are maybe looking at these photos right there on your screen, maybe recognize this guy? What do you say to them?
I say to you, be strong, come forward, share your story. Go to if it's in a different jurisdiction, go to your local authorities, report this, get in touch with the FBI. They do have a website that you can reach out to, which is at the FBI.gov/Sakima victims, spelled SAKIMA Victims, or you can also call 1-800-CALL-FBI. And then the FBI Portland office also advised that they can be reached directly at 503-224-4181. And I highly encourage you to come forward and share your story. Let us help you, and for anything for the healing process that you can become whole again, because this is a horrific event.
And this is obviously getting national attention here, but in a sense, that's a good thing for investigators because they are able to get the word out about this guy, correct?
Absolutely. We just want to identify anybody who's been victimized by him and, again, give them the justice they deserve.
All right.
All right. So that's the first video. It kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. And then I wanted to show a video of him actually appearing with his wife on the Judge Judy show. And it's just crazy to me.
This is the man charged with kidnapping and holding a woman captive in a cinder block dungeon. The story of the woman's daring escape is making national news. And this is that same guy on Judge Judy.
All rise.
5 years before his shocking arrest, Nagazi Zabari and his then-girlfriend, Alicia Westfall, faced off in Judge Judy's courtroom.
Something is simple to me. Evidently, it wasn't as simple to you.
Zuberi looked a lot different back then, wearing a suit and tie. He claimed his girlfriend doused his suits with bleach.
Did you notify the police?
I didn't want to put her in jail.
He also introduced into evidence this cell phone video in which he apparently threw a bottle at him.
You going to jail, bro. You going to jail. I'm calling 911 right now. You just threw that bottle at me.
Alicia Westfall countersued over what she called a false restraining order he obtained against her.
He didn't put his hands on you.
Yes, he did, actually.
I didn't see that.
That video, don't show.
Show me the photographs of where he put his hands on you.
Well, you know what? I don't have the video.
You know what? I don't believe you.
Judge Judy rendered her verdict. He won.
Your counterclaim is dismissed. You destroyed his suits and his computer.
Well,
Judgment
Your Honor,
for the plaintiff in the
a-
amount of $2,500. We're finished.
But that was kid stuff compared to the legal issue he faces now. Zuberi allegedly kidnapped a sex worker off the streets, drove her 450 miles to Klamath Falls, Oregon, where he imprisoned her in a cinder block dungeon. She managed to escape by breaking down the door and calling 911.
The victim's focus, actions, and her will to survive triggered a law enforcement response that may have actually saved many other women from a similar nightmare.
From a victim on Judge Judy to an alleged perpetrator of a terrible crime.
We're finished.
All right. Leave some messages, communicate. Let me know how you guys felt about the video. I think it's crazy. I don't understand how somebody can do that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.